Hey guys, I was a hired actor at my church's healing services, and they believe that in me making this video that it will result in me getting sickle cell.
Welcome to the channel once again, family. You are aware that fake news really spreads a lot, and when it is about a minister that is popular, for that one it will spread across everywhere in the world. Now, so this lady that we are seeing on the screen right now says that he came to Pastor Chris and didn't get healing, and he was told to fake his healing and so many things. Family, let us listen to his testimony so that we can deduce a lesson from it. Family, let us watch together.
Hey guys, I was a hired actor at my church's healing services, and they believe that in me making this video that it will result in me getting sickle cell. Let me explain. As some of you may know, I was born with a condition called sickle cell. It's a genetic condition and you can't cure genes. That's why they say that there is no cure, and that the only cure would be for you to go through gene therapy and have your genes changed. So it's a non-curable disease, and in the same way that you were born with your eye color, your skin color, you can't easily change things like that, and the procedure would be very intrusive. So it being a genetic condition that you're born with, it has affected me all my life, causing me to have things like sickle cell crises, pains, etc., etc. Now, I have been part of a very known healing ministry, and of course, since they believe in healing, they believe that God can heal every condition, and they have these healing events that happen annually. They used to happen in person, but after COVID they made it online, which is crazy, but we're gonna get into that. In 2015, 16, 17 times, I was in sixth form, and because sickle cell was drastically affecting my academics, we spoke to the pastor about it, and he was like, oh no, like you need to get your heir to the healing services. The healing services happen in South Africa in autumn and in Canada in the summer. This is when they used to have it in person. It's not free to go to these services because obviously you have to pay for your hotel, you have to pay for your flight, but they say it's free to attend. So I didn't want to go to the one in South Africa. I hadn't even explained to them that it was anything to do with the malaria thing or anything. Like, it was more so to do with my academics, and they were like, oh, like, why are you not trying to go? Like, this is a really bad attitude to have. Da, 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 da. So I was like, cool, you know what, let me act on my faith. You guys are saying that I'm already healed. Cool. There are some like certain medications that you're supposed to take if you have sickle cell. I stopped taking them, and as soon as I stopped taking them, my church was like, oh Vanessa, we heard that you stopped taking your painkillers and antibiotics and red. And they were like, are you trying to kill yourself? I was like, no, I'm acting my faith. I'm acting my faith just like you guys told me to do. But bear in mind, this is back in 2015. Those timestamps are important, so you know that I was already labeled as a rebel back in the day. So I was basically living inside this fake reverse kind of world, because I'm not allowed to say openly that I have sickle cell, but if I'm ill, like, it's like I have a muzzle, and like I can't tell you why I'm ill. I can't tell you why yesterday I was walking and today I'm not. Like, I can't explain any of that to you. Anyways, so my parent had paid for a ticket for me to go to the South Africa one, and now that I was adamant that I wasn't going, I felt so bad because we come from a very low socioeconomic background. So she had basically dropped 2k for us for the whole trip, for two people to go to South Africa, plane, hotel. It's an 18-day thing, because for the whole 18 days they need to indoctrinate you and deprogram you on your views on healing. Basically placebo. But when I said the word placebo, they were getting angry. Yeah, so 18 days in South Africa is very expensive. So I felt bad that I had basically rejected going. So yeah, 2k down the drain, and then my pastor tells my parent that, oh, don't worry about the money that's gone. Did they reimburse her? No, but they were like, don't worry about the money that's gone, you can just say that it's a seed unto the Lord for your daughter to be healed. This video is already getting long, but you can kind of understand why we were even in such a ministry to begin with. Like, my mom's firstborn daughter, born with a condition, like she's seeing me suffer a lot, and then there's this healing ministry. They're talking about healing, of course she's gonna be a member, of course we're gonna be there, of course we're gonna be loyal. Like, man's being loyal, like, man is a top partner in that church, and you guys have seen, like, I was out here giving double digits. I think I probably dropped 2k, but this was later on down the line when I got to uni. Anyways, so cool. The whole me not going to South Africa thing happened, and I feel really bad because we were already poor. Like, we were already poor. But then they end up booking me to go to the Canada one, which was in summer, and that's when things really, yeah. So the next video is going to be about Canada and actually going to the healing service. Ciao. So they call it the healing school, and I have so much to say about that place, about every single thing that happens inside the healing school. Like, this is coming from someone who has actually been there, seen it, seen how it's set up. Like, I don't think anyone has ever explained what happens inside the healing school. People have only given testimonies that they've gone there and got healed, but no one explains like what happens. So I was in sixth form at the time, and it was like 2016 times, and it had got to the summer holiday, and we had now bought our flight tickets and our hotel in Canada, and it's a 19-day event at the healing school. And the reason why it's 19 days or 18 days is because you need to be deprogrammed and conditioned with your views on healing, so that on the day of the healing service you will be healed, because they have indoctrinated you with all of the scriptures and all the things that you need to know in order to get miraculously healed. So at this point my mum had already dropped 2k on going to Canada, but then I refused to go because of academic reasons. Like, it just wasn't going to make sense. What was I going to tell my school? I was already behind because of my health at school. So then she had to obviously drop another 2k for me to go to Canada. And like I said, she wasn't reimbursed, and the pastor told her that the first 2k that she dropped would be used as a seed unto the Lord for me to be healed. So on the day that we're actually meant to travel to Canada, we actually missed our flight. Like I said, we've been poor, so we have never been on an airplane before, so we didn't know that you were supposed to be there like hours in advance. Like, we had never left the country because yeah, so I just felt so bad. I was like, oh no, like another 2k gone. And I remember being at the airport and just like praying in tongues and be like, like, God, like, if you want me to be at the healing school, if you want me to be healed, like, just let me go. Like, are you just really gonna leave us here stranded at the airport? And I prayed, and miraculously we managed to get a free brand new ticket, but it just meant we had to stay at the airport. Okay, so here's the vibe when I get to Canada. The vibe when I get to Canada is I'm not allowed to smile. Well, this is what's like the thought process. I'm not allowed to treat this like a holiday because I'm going to get healed, and they're very big and strict on like don't let anything distract your focus from your healing. Don't let offense distract your focus from your healing. Don't let doubt distract your focus from your healing. So because I was just so focused on I don't want to do anything that's gonna prevent my healing, I was like, I can't see this as a holiday, even though it was my first time outside of Europe. So here's the first weird thing that happens when you get to Canada. No, when we get to the church there, they were getting our biometrics. So they scanned my irises, They took my fingerprints, they took pictures of me, they took videos of me walking with the limp. They took me to like these back rooms where there was this like lady. And so if you've watched the healing school and the healing streams, there is this very much older woman that the pastor is always with, and she just gave me so much mysterious vibes. Like there was just something very off and very eerie about her. And I was taken into her back rooms to see her, and I was just in a room with her, and she was like, let me guess, you have sickle cell? And I was like, yeah. She was like, yep, I knew it. And she didn't say anything else, and then she left. And she just gave me such off vibes. The fact that she's always standing behind the man of God whenever he heals someone, I was like, what is up with her? So after they take our biometrics and because you're supposed to bring like medical records and evidence to prove that you have the condition, and they're taking all these pictures of you. Till this day, I'm still freaked out and weirded out at the fact that they scanned my irises and fingerprints, because I'm a person who doesn't really like biometric data. Like if there's any option to opt out, I'm always trying to opt out of stuff like that. Cool. So every day we have sessions. So this is how it's laid out. In the morning, on your first day, they give you a booklet, and the booklet has affirmations. And like I told you, they believe that your healing is in your faith proclamation and your affirmation. And they said that you can never get rid of this book. You can never stop proclaiming over your health. You must proclaim over your health every single day of your life for the rest of your life. They were like, this is your medicine, and you're going to take this instead of your medicine for the rest of your life. So a lot of the healing school was spent doing affirmations. Like we would have segments of the day where we would do affirmations. And then apart from affirmations, there were like 3 to 4 pastors in rotation every day who would do teaching sessions. So affirmations, a teaching session in the morning, break, a teaching session in the afternoon, affirmations. That's how it is daily. And to be honest, when it came to the healing, everything they taught us is stuff that we already learn in church. So I guess this was good for people who were not from the ministry or were not Christians yet, and they were learning about the perspective of healing from scratch. But for me, it just felt like I know all of this already. Like I've been in this church since I was 4 years old. So they were basically reteaching me stuff that I already believed and knew at the time. So every session was something about what is sickness, how do people get sickness, and then it would be like, what does God say about healing? Does God want you well? Is healing from the devil? I know for a fact that my church stages the healings and that people are not actually healed, because I myself are one of the hired actors at our miracle healing services. I was born with sickle cell, and when I was in sixth form in 2016, I went to Canada to get healed by the man of God. When we get there, they scan my eyes, they take my fingerprints, they look at our documents, and they look at the proof that I have sickle cell, which is multiple doctor's records. And I had also came with crutches because sickle cell had caused me to have a limp. They took us to the back rooms to be examined, and they would ask us questions about our condition and how the condition affects us. And there was one eerily strange lady who is always behind pastor whenever he's healing someone, and I got really dark negative energy vibes from her. Like I always used to be like, why is she in every healing school video? I'm always to be like, who is she? Why is she behind her? Why do we never hear her speak? And even there, we never heard her speak. And I was in a room alone with her. I was put in a room alone with her, and she was like, let me guess, you have sickle cell. Yeah, that's what I thought. And then she just left the room, and yeah, the vibes were off. So basically, they are very, very content heavy. Like the whole reason you are there is to basically get content of you before your healing and after your healing. So every day they're filming videos of you, and because my issue was sickle cell, they can't really film the sickle cell. So, and because I look physically normal, they can't really film the sickle cells. But I did have crutches, which was great, so they could film me walking and they could film me with the crutches, and then basically like, hi, my name's Vanessa. I came from London, and today I'm at the healing school to get healed by the man of God because I have sickle cell anemia. And the way that it affects me is that I miss a lot of school because when I'm ill, I have painful crises, I'm more prone to infections, all of those things. And they will be getting content for days. And here's the thing about this church. When you go to the healing school, they will turn you into a celebrity. I'm talking about Hunger Games. You know when Katniss Everdeen, they dress her up all nice, they make her go on stage to tell her testimony. That's literally what happens when you go to the healing streams. When people usually come, they're in their staying at home clothes, and the reason that they're in their staying at home clothes, or like their casual clothes, is because we have 18 to 19 days sessions back to back of them bombarding us with testimonies of people who have been healed in the past, and sessions of like healing. How does one get healed? What are God's views on healing? And I'm going to explain everything that they taught us. And because it's daily sessions, like no one's getting dressed up for that. So your before video is basically you looking disheveled with no makeup, hair not done, just wearing a hoodie and trackies and trainers. And then your after video, because we've literally watched back-to-back testimony videos, is you in a nice dress, makeup done, looking good, looking bright, looking healthy, strutting onto the stage. And then you go and sit with Pastor, let's call him Pastor Eddie Murphy. You'll know why I called him that, because it's close to his real name. And you sit on stage with him and you say, glory! Pastor Chris telling people that they're healed when the people are not in fact healed doesn't benefit anyone except for him. Pastor Chris gains from staged healings because in turn it gives him more publicity, more members, and more money. I went to the healing school in 2016 where I met Pastor Chris in person and he laid hands on me. I then had Pastor Chris lay hands on me again in 2019, and again I went to the online healing streams in 2023. All those times I was told that I was healed by the man of God with no verification, no proof, and not even a remembrance that I had been there before and he'd said the same thing. People who attend the healing school are hired actors whether they know it or not. An actor is someone playing a role. And when you are hired, you are working for a company or organization for the betterment of that company or organization. And in this case, the company receives more members, more followings, more views, and more givings. You are just one chess piece in a stage.
So let us now listen to Pastor Chris as he explains and teaches why so many Christians are not healed by God. What causes a Christian not to receive his healing? That is something that every Christian needs to know. Let us watch and listen together. God richly bless you.
Nothing is so difficult for him. Doesn't matter what your case is, it's so easy. Healing you is the easiest thing in the world. It's the easiest thing in the world. It happens in a flash. So much so sometimes even those who get healed can find it difficult to believe they've been healed. I told a story years ago how I had an argument with a blind man after I prayed for him. So to him, he was not healed. I thought he was not healed. This was many years ago. Can you imagine? That's almost like it's almost 40 years ago. Can you believe that? How time flies. So I prayed for him. Well, not one-on-one. I prayed generally, okay? And he was sitting on the front row. So I just prayed for everybody. And the meeting was rounding off. And I was just talking to the Lord about the meeting and whether or not, anyone got healed. And the Lord said to me, he said, the blind man you prayed for was healed. I said, he was healed? The Lord said, yes. So I got up and went straight to the man where he was sitting. His son was sitting beside him. I said, sir, can you see me? He said, no. Now, there were about 1,000 people there. So I said, but the Lord just told me that he healed you. He said, well, I can't see. I said, but he healed you. He said, I can't see anything. So I took him by the hand and brought him to the middle of the crowd. So who should I take here? I want to come. You follow me. Come. You got healed, right? You were healed today. Wonderful. God is great. So I took the man and I brought him to the middle of the crowd. I said to him, this man came here blind in both of his eyes. They could see him. I was holding his hand. And his son followed. I said, the Lord told me that he healed him. And still he's telling me he can't see. I said, but you've been healed. Then he said, I cannot see at all. I said, don't say that. God healed you. And he said he healed you. The man said, if I can see, I will say I can see. But I cannot see anything. I said, shut up. We were arguing and the crowd was laughing. They were having a wonderful time. They thought it was fun. So I said to the man, shut up. Don't say that again. God doesn't lie. He told me that he healed you. The man said, I can't see anything. So I said, come, follow me. So he followed me. I turned to the light. I said, look at the light. He said, I can't see anything. I said, shut up. Then I moved further. I said, look now. Suddenly he said, I can see. I can see. Thank you. And right away, he's jumping. His son is jumping. The whole crowd went wild. The man could see everything. He saw the people. He was 60 years old at the time. Past 60 years old. He was so excited. A year after, I sent some people to go find out about him. And he said he's been preaching, telling everybody about Jesus Christ. Now, I thought for a while, if I had left that man and allowed him to go home, he would have continued in his blindness even though he was healed at night. He would have continued in his blindness. A very similar thing happened to another person, a lady this time. So she came for healing, and she was in the healing line. She had a heart condition, but then she was blind in one of her eyes, but you couldn't tell because the two were open. Do you understand? They looked normal, but one of the eyes was blind. I didn't know. She didn't tell me until something happened. But in her card, she said she had a heart condition. So I prayed for her about her heart condition. And she traveled all the way from her country to come here. So The next day, I just went to say hello to several of the guests as they were getting ready to leave for their country. And I got to where she and her husband were, and I said, "How are you?" They said, "Fine." They didn't look very excited. So I said, "You're not looking very excited. I saw you in the healing line last night. Is everything all right?" They said, "Yeah." I said, "You were healed of a heart condition, weren't you?" She didn't know whether to say yes or no. Then the husband spoke up. He said, she had another problem that was bothering her. I said, "What was it?" He said, "She was blind, totally blind in her left eye." I said, "Oh, so you used the eye as an example." Now it's a long time. I believe it was the left eye, or was it the right one? It's a long time now. One of them. But then she used the eye. You used your eye to give evidence for your heart condition. So if your eye had been healed, you would have believed your heart was healed. She said, "Yes, yes." I said, "But you didn't say anything about your eye." And she said, "Well, she told God." I said, "All right, can I tell you something?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "When God healed you last night of the heart condition, He also healed your eye." Then she said, "But I'm not seeing with the eye." I said, "I know. But He healed you when I touched you. Because everyone that I lay hands on gets healed." That is important. If I'm not going to minister to you to be healed, I will not touch you. If I put the hand on you, you are healed. So I said to the woman, I said, "So last night when I prayed for you, you were healed." So she was looking at me. I said, "Can I prove it to you?" She said, "Yes." Her husband was looking excited now. He's standing beside her. I said, "Close the good one." So she closed it. I said, "Now look at me." She was quiet. Just a few seconds. And she screamed, "I can see!" And both of them hugged each other. They cried, they shouted, they danced. And I'm standing there all the time looking at them. She could see. She had been blind from when she was 1 year old. And now she was 61. 60 years of blindness. She couldn't see from that eye. From age 1. Now she could see perfectly. But that's not the end of the story. So they traveled home. While they're home, a few days after, she's doing her house chores, cleaning up, and then she collapsed. And this was the way she used to collapse before, because of the heart condition. Now they're worried. Oh, does it mean the heart wasn't healed? They called the ambulance. They took her straight to the hospital. And the doctors got around. They're working on her. Finally, they look into her body and they said to her, "Woman, where did you go to?" She said, "What's the problem? Where have you been?" She said, "Tell me, what's wrong?" They said, now remember, they've been the same ones treating her, so they know the difference. They said, "Who performed the surgery? Because there are no marks. and you have the heart of a 15-year-old woman. Can you imagine that? She had a brand new heart. Now it was time for them to celebrate number 2. Glory be to God. It's amazing. It pays to believe God. Always believe. Tell somebody sitting close to you, say, always believe. Learn to believe. Yes, believe with all your heart in Jesus Christ. Believe his words. Why would you doubt him? He has all the power, and he's more than willing, and he loves you. That's enough.
Wow, family, your word is very clear, it's so powerful. Now, so at times it is our doing. So to move to the lady who said he came to Pastor Chris and didn't receive healing, it is due to her own actions. Yes, so at times the step we take is what hinders us from being healed. So what Pastor Chris said is very clear. Our actions count a lot if we want to receive from God. Family, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.